Hey everyone, and welcome back to now this 10th part of this video tutorial series on how to edit audio books the Deyan audio way. Right now we're just going to take a quick look at how to deliver the files back to us, which is just something specific to our specs in our company, of course, right? But these are important things to know in order to get the files into us correctly, right? So what we're not going to do is we're not going to consolidate any chapters. No. We're also not going to deliver a whole Pro Tools session. No, we definitely aren't going to do either of those things, okay? We have a different kind of delivery system where we only deliver the files that are different, the files that you have changed. What we're not going to do is send any files that Deyan Audio sent us, right? So real quick, in FileZilla, this is our FTP client. If you connect to our FTP, something good to have open before you even begin, go down to Z Project folders, find your project, The Wizard of Oz, and in there, you'll see all the files that Deyan Audio sent you. They're still there from when you got them, right? So you don't have to send any of these files back to us. It's good to know, and we'll keep that open, right? Enough of that for now, but let's just do some quick, spot checks in Pro Tools. Make sure the top and tails are correctly, top and tail timing is correct. Make sure these names are correct. Make sure that markers appear right at the top of each chapter, right? So that's good. That's good, right? Gorgeous. Half a second there. 3.5 there, 3.5 here, that's all named correctly. The markers look okay. There's, the comments section contains the problem. The name section contains the page and lines down, right? There's no zoom settings selected on this, right? If anything like this happens, people are going to get annoyed. So go through your markers, make sure there's no zoom settings. One way you can do that is hit Command 5. See, only your zoom memory locations should have zoom settings. All that looks fine. Cool. Hit Command S to save it. Then we're going to do save copy in as well. No shortcut for that, but you can make one in Keyboard Maestro if you want to. We're going to save it as a session Pro Tools 7 through 9 session. This just because we have some studios, vendors, clients, all kinds of people actually who are on older versions of Pro Tools. So this is just a safeguard in case someone's using back to Pro Tools 8 or 9. They'll be able to open this session as well. We hit OK here. Make sure we're not copying any audio files. We don't want to do that. If it's making you copy audio files, you did something wrong. You created a session with multiple sample rates in it or something strange like that. To save down to 7 through 9, you shouldn't have to copy audio files. We're just trying to make a PTF here, right? So generate that PTF right there. Okay, and PTFs can only be 811 minutes and 35 seconds long. So if your session is longer than that, you're going to have to create 2 PTFs. One where you delete anything after 811, any chapters that start, that won't fit into that 811, and save that as a PTF. Then open up the PTX again and delete all the chapters that you already have in the first PTF. So you have all the rest of the chapters, and save that as a second PTF. In this case, pretty easy because it's very short actually. So we can just save that, and now we have a PTF as well as a PTX, right? Oh, and actually, we can get rid of the copy of if we want to. There we go, and it just kind of looks a little neater like that. So yeah, save and close that, and then all we need to do is deliver back any files we created. So we're not going to deliver any of these files. One thing we need to do though is we need to create a pickups folder. And in this pickups folder, we're going to put a script with all of our annotations in it. Now, this one's easy because it was only a day long, right? So we received one annotated script, and we're able to add all of our annotations to that. And this would be the editor's pickups now, all annotated to this one. Now, this gets tricky when a book is more than 1 day long, which it almost always is. What you have to do then is, as you're working through day one, you'll get to the end of the day one annotations and the day one audio. At that point, you want to delete all of the other pages from the day one script after the day one annotations end, if there are any. Same thing with the day two script. When you get that, you'll want to delete any pages before where the day two annotations start and any pages after where the day two annotations end. Sometimes the directors actually cut them up that way, but if they're not, you want to do that as you go. That way you'll have day one, day two, and day three PDFs that only have the pages related to those days of audio in it, and then that way you can combine all of those pages, all of those days of PDFs into one PDF that will be a complete version of the book with all the annotations in it. The cool thing about this, that's already like that here, so we don't have to go through any of that. So we do need to create a pickups folder and put it in there. If it was required that we made MP3s, we'd have to also make an MP3 folder. If there were multiple narrators, we'd have to make subfolders for each narrator. And we'd actually put, and if any of those narrators needed MP3s, we'd actually put the MP3 folders within those narrators folders. You don't want to combine any pickups from one narrator and give them to another ever, or the MP3s. They all need to be separate. So each of these folders would only contain the annotated script and the MP3s for these particular narrators, so we could send them to that narrator. If we have other narrators pickups mixed in, then that first narrator will get a little peeved probably. So do some double checks on that. Make sure you don't have any of those things mixed up. This is cool because it's just one narrator with no MP3s. So none of those subfolders are required. We can just leave it in there like that, and that's fine. So what do we need to deliver? We need to deliver our PTX, our PTF, any of the audio files that we didn't get from Deyan Audio, any that we generated ourselves. They only need to get selected, and our pickups folder, all of that. And then we're going to zip it up. Right, and then we're just going to call it the same thing as this, right? And we're going to go to our Wizard of Oz folder, and we're going to put it in there. What you don't ever want to do is just throw PTXs or PTFs or little files like this up into the root folder. I never ever want to see anything like that. This root folder should just contain either files that the director has uploaded to us, or zip files or folders of other people working within this folder. So if you're the editor, there should be a zip file or folder. You could do a folder. You create a folder called edited and put all your stuff in that, but you don't want to put any loose small files in that root folder. That's what you want to avoid there. So that's what it should look like when it's done. Now, you as the editor have no further obligation after this. That's something that some editors and QCers from other worlds forget about, is that the QCer is not going to give their notes back to you. That's not going to happen. You're done. The QCer will make any fixes they can themselves and send the session on basically to Yachty to then send to the actor. So you as the editor, once you've uploaded this session and you've heard that the QCer has downloaded it okay, you're free to just go ahead and invoice us at that point. And I can go over that really quickly. For example, for this job, it's only 8 minutes, 36 seconds. So we're going to get paid like a few dollars here, but let's figure it out, right? 36 divided by 60 is 0.6, so it's 0.6, it's 8.6 minutes, right? So we can go 8.6 to figure out how many hours it is divided by 60, and that's how many hours it is, you know? So however many minutes you have, divide that by 60, that's how many hours you get, and that is what you would multiply by the rate to get your amount owed. Our current rate for punch editing is $40 per finished hour, so you'd multiply this by 40, and you'd get this number. See, since it's such a small amount of audio, it's not much, but that's what you'd want to bill for, and you'd want to send all that in an invoice to accounting@deyanaudio.com, accounting@deyanaudio.com. Want to get that perfect, and then they'll send you a check 2 Mondays after they receive it, and that is your job as the punch editor done. So that's the last video about the process I'm going to do. I'm only going to do one more, and it's just going to be about how to do roll editing, which is kind of a completely different thing. But you don't want to get into roll editing until you've gotten good at this, until you can do a book at 2-to-1 ratio, meaning you can edit an hour of audio in 2 hours, like this. Then you're ready to take on a roll record and start learning how to do that. To try to learn how to do roll editing while you're learning this other stuff, it's going to kind of trip you up probably. So learn this stuff first, get these macros locked into muscle memory, get all the shortcuts and various motions, locked into muscle memory, wax on, wax off, right? You just do it over and over again, and it'll become quick. Once you've got those things locked in your muscle memory, you don't really have to think about them to do them. Then you're ready to take on roll editing and learn how to do that. So until then, I will see you guys later. Thanks a lot.